Hello everyone, this is Raja Ramesh and welcome back to TypeScript and Playwright Journey. In the previous video, we have learned about loops, and in this video, we will learn about conditional statements in TypeScript. So we will discuss what actually conditional statements are and what are different types of conditional statements we used in TypeScript like if else, and multiple if else statements, how to use switch, and we also have ternary operator. We learn about that. To start with, we will first see what conditional statements are and why actually we use those. Whenever you are working with any program or application, you may come across a situation like you have to take a decision. For example, you might be expecting some input from user and user gave some input. Like the example we discussed in loops, user entered ATM pin and we need to write some logic to check whether the pin is correct or not. And based on the correctness of the pin, we need to take a decision whether to allow the user to enter the system or keep the user on the same page and ask to provide the correct pin again. And similarly, even we are asking the user to enter the correct pin again, we have to limit that n number of times. So user inputted the wrong pin maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times already. And based on our application requirement, we have to block the user from further tries. So here we have seen two decisions to be taken. One is based on the correctness of pin, whether we need to allow the user to enter the system or not is the one thing. And based on the number of tries, whether we need to show the retry page or block the user from using even that page further. All these decisions allow the user in programming using something called conditional statements. Let us see those as some examples. Open your Visual Studio Code and create a new file called conditionalstatements.ts. So just to write here, we have if statement to begin with. What it does is you are getting some input from the user, maybe a number. I will take a number, let input. I will take this as a number, and we may have some logic to accept the number from user. For now, we will just take the number directly here. It is 10. So as a first step, we have a number from user, and our requirement is to print if the number is even number, we have to print the given number is even. So for that, we need to check whether given number which is input, check if input is even. If it is even, print even if it is even. This is what our requirement. Now we already have the number received from the user, and we know the logic to verify if a given number is even or not. The logic is any number is said to be an even number if that number is divisible by 2 and is leaving a remainder of 0. So the remainder operator in TypeScript is percentile. So if it is equal to 0, then that number is said to be an even number. Now we will do this using the if statement. So the required thing is we need to write a console.log statement to the output saying the given number is even. Input is even and number, right? But if we run this without checking anything, we got the output 10 is even number. Of course, we have written the console.log statement. That is why we are getting 10 is even number. Even if we change this to 11, in that case also it will give the same output because we did not implement any conditional checking. We just wrote a console.log statement which will be printing the output to the terminal. Now we will add condition over here. And even if you have single statement, try to use some block as a best practice when you are working with loops or conditional statements. And now we will be writing if. The logic to be checked over here is if number is divided by 2 and the remainder is 0. So the same thing we write over here, the input percentile 2 equals to 0. Then the block should be executed. So what happens here is it will get the remainder value by doing this operation. So we will get something based on the value which is stored in input. Now in this case it is 1 because we have 11 in our input, right? So that 1 will be checked whether it is equal to 0 or not. It is not equal to 0. So this entire thing is turned into false because 1 equal to 0 results in false. So if false, whenever is false is supplied for if, the following block will not be executed. It will be skipped. When this block will be executed means the input for if is true. So this operation should result in 0 and then it will be matched with 0. 0 equals to 0. Then the entire thing will be termed as true and then this will be executed. Let us see this by putting 10 initially and clear this and write this, execute this again. 10 is even number, right? And I am trying this with 11 and I will clear this out and execute this. Nothing happened. I mean, we didn't see anything because we told to execute this block only when the given input is even number. Because it is not an even number, it resulted in 1 and 1 equal to 0 resulted in false and this is skipped entirely and the control came out of the block. That's why we did not see. Just to make this clear, I mean the control came out of the block, we will put a sample statement over here, console.log done. And if we run this again, you simply see done, that's all, because it never executed this block and this line is executed, then is printed over here. This is how we use if statement. Now let us think of what to be done when the given condition becomes false as well. Means in our example, I will comment it out. Before that, I'll copy this. I'll just comment this. I'll paste it over here. In the previous case, we just checked whether given number is even, then we printed it is even if the number is even. But we never said to do something when it is not. I mean, I'm saying when if it is not means when this resulted in false. When this entire operation resulted in true, this will be executed. If true, this will be done. What if this is not true means we need to depend on another thing called else. Else. So if true, execute this block. Else means if false, execute this block. So whatever condition provided in this line here, if it is true, this code will be executed. If it resulted in false, this will be coming to the else part. So simply we can copy this line and write it as n is an odd number. Right now, if we see by running this code again, clear this, and without any changes, the input is 11, and we will execute this and try to debug in your mind what happens. So input percentile 2 equal to 0, which will become false because 11 percentile 2 is 1, the result is 1. 1 equal to 0 is false. So skip this part and come here 23 and execute the console.log statement. Input, which is 11, is an odd number. That should be the output. See, that is matched. So you guessed this correct. So this is what we will be doing. I mean, whenever you have two flows, like there is some input you received from user and you want to take decision 1 when that input satisfies some condition, and you have to take second flow when condition you are checking is false with the given input. In that case, you will be using if else. Now you only have two flows, like whether if it is even number or odd number, you depend on if and else. Now we have multiple things to be done based on the input value, and I have multiple conditions based on condition 1. I have to do some operation based on condition 2. We have to do some operation based on condition 3. We'll need to perform another operation like that. Then we can use something like if else ladder. Means we will be writing if some condition is true means do some part 1, else if we will be checking the condition again, that will be a new condition. If that is true means do something else, again it will come to another part, and so on. We will see that in example. I comment it out, and for if else ladder I will take another variable here. Let we will take marks as number, and we will be providing some value over here. My requirement is I need to print grade A when the marks is greater than or equal to 90, and if the marks is not greater than or equal to 90, so marks is less than 90 but it is greater than 80, then I want to print grade B. Similarly, the marks are not greater than 80 as well, and if marks greater than or equal to 60, that is less than 80 and greater than 60, you can say in between 60 and 80, so in that case you need to print grade C. And you check this as well, and someone got marks less than 60, in that case you need to print grade F. So this is marks, but see, we have only grade F in any other case which is less than 60, so we actually don't need to write this condition, because we don't need to write the condition again. We can use the final else. We will see how while writing the logic. So now I want to print grade A when the marks is greater than or equal to 90 in the initial check. So I will write if marks greater than or equal to 90, then console.log grade A. Right? So if I clear this and run this again, I will see grade A on terminal because my marks is 90 and this condition is already satisfied. But now take some value which is, I will keep this as well so that you can practice with different values. So maybe student's marks is 85. In that case, I need to get grade B. So clearly it is not greater than or equal to 90. So with this value, marks greater than or equal to 90, it failed. I mean the condition become false, because marks which is 85 greater than or equal to 90, which is not true. So this will not be executed. So you have to write an else statement over here, and again you will be checking if, because if there is only one more flow to be executed, then you can directly write in else block, but you have multiple conditions to check again. So else, and we are checking another condition using if marks greater than or equals to say 80, right? What we need to do here, marks is 85, this becomes false, so control comes here and it check the condition again, and this becomes true because 85 greater than or equal to 80 is true. Now you can log grade B. Similarly, if you, okay, before going to next, we will see running this code. See, now we got grade B, and if the marks is 90, we still get grade A, and if it is 85, we should get grade B. Got it? So what if The marks are 75 or 70, you can say. Now we don't see anything on output because 70 will be compared with 90. It is false, so it will skip this block. And 70 will be compared with 80, which is false, and this block will be skipped and controls come to this line. So you will not see anything. And now we need to write another else and check another condition. If marks, the next condition is greater than or equal to 60. The marks is greater than or equal to 60, then you can log grade C. Got it? So now if you run this code again, you will see grade C here because the condition is satisfied in this operation. So now let us see what happens or what we need to do when the marks is less than 60 also. Right now we have marks as 50. Based on the existing logic, we don't get anything to output because we don't have any other check or else block. So just think if you have any other condition to be checked, because here we don't have any such. If the marks is not greater than 60, greater than or equal to 60, because this is greater than or equal to 60 and the next check is less than 60, which means which is not greater than or equal to 60, so that will become an else for this part. So you can simply write else and print grade F. You don't need to write again like marks less than 60 because anyhow if this grade C, if not, is what it means actually, right? So if not, the final block will be executed. If you try running this again, you will see grade F because the marks given is 50. So this is how we write multiple if else statements based on the number of conditions you have to check. So this depends on what your requirement is and what the value provided is. And now we will see ternary operator. So what is ternary operator means? You can consider that as a shortcut for if else statement. I just comment out everything so that the output will be clear when we are running the code. So if you remember when we discussed if else, we wrote if else block like this. If input percentile 2 equal to 0, then it is an even number, else print it is an odd number, right? So instead of writing this much code, what we can do is I will take input again, let input as a number and it has 10 in this, and now I want to print 10 is an even number or odd number based on the even number logic. So instead of writing if else blocks, you can write something like this. I will write in comment. You have to check your condition and what if it is true or when true, right? So I will write statements to execute when true, I mean when this condition is true, and else statements to execute when the condition is false. Okay, this is how ternary operator looks like. So this is some shorthand method for if else block. Okay, so we will see what is the condition we have. Input percentile 2 equal to 0 and put a question mark symbol and read this as if input percentile 2 equal to 0, then console.log, same thing we have done earlier. Input is an even number, and read this as else by providing colon symbol, and log input is an odd number, and put a semicolon at the end. This is simple. We missed brackets over here, and we were seeing error, right? So this is how a ternary operator looks like, and this is how we actually use that. If write your condition and what is to be done when it is true and what is to be done when it is false. It need not be a console.log statement. You can do any other things as well, like some assignment or call some method. If this condition is true, go for one method, otherwise go for second method, like that also. Got it? So for now, we will clear the terminal, and we will run it again, and we will see how it is working. See, 10 is an even number. It worked fine, and I will give 21. And if we run this, 21 is an odd number should be printed. Yeah, it is printed. Got it? So this is how ternary operator is to be used. And now we will see another thing in conditional statements, which is called switch case statement. Comment this. So we have switch case statement. We can simply use switch case so that it improves the readability. We will see how it works. So instead of using multiple if else conditions, we can use switch for better readability. A simple example for this is checking, maybe user is providing, if you have seen some web applications where we are accepting date of birth or some date value from user. So there you may see like Jan, Feb, March, April, like that in months drop down, or you may sometimes see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 12 in the months drop down. So you assume like user is providing 5 from the months drop down. So here the program is receiving the value as 5 for month value, and based on the 5 we need to decide, okay, May should be the value we need to consider. Got it? Like that. So that has 12 values, right? So we'll go for week to be easier, so that we'll have limited values, 7 values only. So based on the number we received from user, if it is 1, let's say that is Monday. If it is 2, consider that as Tuesday, like that. Got it? So for that, I will declare a new variable called week and take that as a number, and user will be providing some number into that. Okay, but now we are just hard coding it, and we write switch statement, switch based on week, and the operations to be done based on the value will be written in this block case 1. Okay, what should happen when case 1? I mean, when the value of week is 1, what to be done? We will be writing in the case 1's part. So we write console.log Monday. Okay, and we will write something called break. Okay, let us write this. I'll tell you in a while. And case 2. What if the value provided to the week is 2? Then we should print this one. Okay. So case 2 is Tuesday. And case 3 it should be Wednesday. and break. When the value is 4, so case 4 console.log Thursday and break it again. Case 5 console.log Friday, and when case 6 the value is 6, console.log Saturday, break. I intentionally left without providing break here. We will come here, otherwise I'll provide as a comment. And now we have one more value, case 7 console.log Sunday and break. Along with all these cases, we will be writing one default case because there might be chances where we may get some unexpected value. Like for a valid week, we are expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, either of these values. What if user provides 0 or 10 or 8? Then we should do something, right? Maybe you need to print on the screen like, okay, you have entered a wrong value, try it again, like that. So that particular logic or operations to be written here. But for now we just write a console log statement, invalid value voided. And before executing this, I will tell you about one special keyword we have used here is break. If you observe, at the end of every case we used break. What it does is, whenever the term break is seen, the control will be passed to the end of the current block in TypeScript. So here, if the value provided in the week is 1, in that case 1 is satisfied, console.log Monday is printed, and the further block will be ignored. The further lines in the block will be ignored and the control reaches to the end of the block. If we miss that, in this case, we will see running what happens also. For now, we'll just clear the console and write that by providing a valid value 3. When it is 3, it will switch based on 3. It is 3, so that it will directly go to case 3 and execute this line. So we should get Wednesday on the console. We will see running this. See, we are seeing Wednesday on the console. And now try to provide the value 5 to the week and run the same thing again and see the difference in the output. We got Friday, which is valid, right? But we are also seeing the next statement Saturday, right? Why? Because the control is passed to the next case and it executed this as well. And because it encountered break here, it ended the block. Otherwise, if we don't have break in case 6 also, then the control should have been passed to the next case and this should have been printed. Alright, so that's why just to terminate the block, once the required thing is done, we will be adding a break statement. Got it? Now I just corrected that and run the program again. Now we will see only Friday. And what if user provides some value other than 1 to 7, means I am trying with 8. We will be seeing invalid, right? Invalid value provided. And this is how switch case works. So now we will recap the things we learned in this video. So conditional statements, the basic usage of these comes into picture when you have to take some decision based on the user input or some value you got in your program, and based on the condition or based on the number of conditions you have, you will decide whether to use simply if or if else or multiple if else or switch case statement. And if at all you want to use if else, means You can go for ternary operator also because it improves the readability. With this, we are done with conditional statements in TypeScript. Let us meet in our next video with another concept. Till then, do some practice on conditional statements and let me know in comments if you have any doubts or if you see any problems while executing your code. And if you find this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching and please don't forget to like and subscribe.